Today we examine the dynamics of asymmetric advocacy through the work of the Sane Energy Project and their ongoing battle for New York's grid. We will deconstruct how this organization deploys strategic narrative and data democratization as the ultimate regulatory levers. The environmental policy arena is defined by a profound resource asymmetry. Investor-owned utilities leverage massive ratepayer-funded capital, driving a record-breaking $377.1 million state lobbying industry. These monopolies are structurally incentivized by guaranteed rates of return on physical infrastructure, forcing grassroots organizations to combat continuous multi-billion-dollar fossil expansion using philanthropic grants and volunteer labor. Sane Energy combats this CapEx incentive by exposing infrastructure sunk costs, as demonstrated in the fight against the North Brooklyn pipeline. By introducing independent public health data regarding the Greenpoint LNG vaporizers, they proved severe particulate pollution threatened 81 daycares and 55 schools in the evacuation zone. Injecting the threat of stranded assets ultimately led to the denial of $70 million in public funding. Crucially, this uncompromising opposition is paired with viable alternatives, specifically by championing thermal energy networks, or TENs. This replaces the polluting combustion pipeline model with highly efficient decentralized thermal transfer. It advances grid reliability while securing a just transition for organized labor by guaranteeing union pipe-fitting jobs for green buildouts. This advocacy extends to critical legislative milestones and ratepayer protection. Sane Energy successfully fought to repeal the 100-foot rule, targeting a $600 million annual public subsidy used for fossil fuel expansion. They continue to advocate for the NY HEAT Act, which establishes a 6% income cap on utility bills to protect highly burdened ratepayers and secure average savings of $136 per month for working-class families. These campaigns represent two fundamentally competing visions for the energy grid. While incumbents demand public subsidies for new pipelines and promote hydrogen blending, grassroots advocates demand a halt to all expansion and mandate ambient thermal energy networks. While utilities pass capital expenditure costs to ratepayers, Sane Energy demands statutory income caps to protect the public. To win these battles, Sane Energy utilizes the rapid synthesis and translation process. They take thousands of pages of technocratic jargon from opaque regulatory dockets and translate that exclusionary financial modeling into urgent human stakes. This preempts corporate narratives with highly mobilizing digital testimony toolkits, ultimately flooding obscure regulatory channels to force public accountability. They democratize data to expose structural inequality. Tools like the You Are Here map overlay public health records, census demographics, and underground infrastructure routes to make environmental racism geographically undeniable to regulators. This digital advocacy is then bridged with physical interventions, like localized fossil fuel walking tours, to strip away corporate invisibility. Sane Energy also excels at counter-messaging the corporate shield. They attack the greenwashing shield, where highly publicized offshore wind investments are used to mask aggressive fossil expansion downstate. Concurrently, they deploy independent, peer-reviewed science to systematically dismantle industry-generated transitional fuel myths, such as renewable natural gas and hydrogen blending. Ultimately, Sane Energy embodies the lean advocacy paradigm. They drive systemic decarbonization by neutralizing extreme financial asymmetries through data democratization, pairing uncompromising opposition with scientifically sound engineering, and aligning tenants, labor, and climate justice into intersectional coalitions. They prove that broad, data-driven narrative warfare is the definitive blueprint for structural transition.